What's going on, guys? It's time for me to finally do a review on the Enko shoes.
Stay high for the most of time. Meet a stranger, jump right in your car. Waking up on your sofa next to half-filled bottles from last night.
Alright, so first of all, I want to tell you guys that I did contact the company that I would do a review for them if they send me a pair of their shoes, and they agreed, but we had no prior agreement whether I should do a positive or negative review. So this review is all me. This is what I truly feel about these shoes. So talking about these Enko shoes, how did they come about? This was designed by a French guy. He was a mechanical engineer and he had some back issues while running, and he wanted to design a shoe that actually cushioned more. And since he was a mechanical engineer, he designed a mechanically engineered shoe, and this is where the Enko shoe came about. It was actually released back in 2016. It was introduced to the world at the Las Vegas CES, where they won a CES award for their shoe. And 2 years, 3 years now, and now I have it for a review for you guys. So let's talk about the shoe. The upper is made out of a mesh-like material with leather accents over here, and it's actually very breathable and comfortable. The bottom part is the meat and potato of the shoes. It has this plate over here. It looks like a carbon fiber plate mixed with some other type of material. I'm not sure what they said on the website, but it's very hard. And then you have 14 lugs. You also, of course, have the springs. When you order the shoe, you pick your color, you order your shoe size, and then you put your weight. The heaviest that they go up to is 255 pounds, and luckily for me, I am at the upper limit. I'm at 240 pounds, so I was exactly at their upper limit, and they fit for me. So let's see how the shoe is activated. What you do is you would go on your tippy toe, and make sure it's pointed like that, and then switch it to the run mode. You want to hear the click right there, and then you're activated to run. So how are these shoes to run in? Like many of you guys, you probably thought when you first saw these shoes that these shoes are ridiculous, that they're probably way too over-engineered, that they're probably just a gimmick, that they're not going to work for anybody. And actually, whenever I run in shoes that aren't minimalist, I usually get a crampy feeling in my feet, and I'll have to take out the shoes and then run the rest of the route barefoot, because I can't run in a lot of shoes because I'm usually a minimalist runner. But when I first put on these shoes and I put them on, they felt very comfortable, and I ran. They actually felt like they might be minimalist shoes. I never got that crampy feeling. That's crazy, because at the maximal that these shoes are, when the run mode is turned on, these shoes are at a 25 millimeter heel to toe drop, which is crazy. When they're flat, they say that it's close to a zero heel to toe drop. You can kind of see there is a little bit of a heel to toe drop here. But for me, they felt very comfortable. I never got that crampy feeling in my feet, and they were fine. The ride, they do get a little bit bouncy as expected, because there is that spring-like feeling. And they're actually a very heavy shoe. They weigh about 1.6 ounces. So both of these shoes on your feet, it's going to weigh about 3 pounds. They say that is counteracted by the spring, so you kind of get a floaty feeling, which I can sense that. You do kind of feel that the spring is lightening the feel of the shoe, but when you're moving the shoe forward, you will feel the weight of the shoe kind of pushing your foot down. So there is that. Besides that, the ride felt good. If you're not going to feel the ground, of course, because there's so much underneath here. There's the plate, there's these lugs, and it's gonna just feel like you're running on a flat surface. That's what it felt like to me. It felt comfortable. It felt fine. The ride was fine. And do I feel like it actually sprung me forward? They say that the shoe returns energy. Maybe a little bit. More so when you're walking, but less so when you're running. You don't really feel the shoe too much when you're running, and I guess that is a good thing, because you don't want to be feeling a shoe. You want to concentrate on running. I did have some people question me about the lugs. They really are a non-issue. You're not going to feel them on your run because of the plates. It's not going to feel like you're running in soccer cleats or anything. the ride is very flat. They feel like you're running on a flat surface. Some people ask me if I feel like I'm gonna be a little bit unstable on them, but they feel very stable. And actually, if you're running on trails, I haven't run too much on trails, maybe once or twice, you're just gonna feel very grippy. They're not very slippery. They feel fine. So for these lugs, they are a non-issue for me as far as stability. Another question that I actually was wondering, is this shoe for heel strikers or is this shoe for midfoot strikers or forefoot strikers? I actually think that because of the way that it is flexed whenever it's on the run mode, it's actually more for the midfoot striker. It actually makes you run more midfoot because of the way that it's flexed. But of course you could run on your heel, on your forefoot, or whatever. But for me, I think it actually tends to lead you to run on your midfoot, which is a good thing. That's the way I usually run. Let's talk about some of the things I didn't like about this shoe. Like I said earlier, the weight of the shoe. These shoes weigh 1 pound 6 ounces each. That's 3 pounds extra weight on your body. If you're a bigger runner, it may not matter, but if you're a smaller runner who cares about the racing weight, 3 pounds is a lot. Even though they say that it's offsetted by the spring, you still feel the 3 pound weight. Also, there is the fact that there's a lot of hardware on the shoe. Whenever your form breaks down, and if you're like me, sometimes the opposite foot will hit the back of your leg. And when you're hitting the back of your leg with these shoes, there's a lot of hardware here and it's going to hurt. You're going to feel it. Price of these shoes. These cost you $420. That's a lot of money. They say that that's offset because they will last you about 1,300 miles. You just have to replace the lugs and the springs whenever they wear down. And I ran about 50 miles in them so far, and I've already had to replace one of the lugs. I had to replace this lug. You could tell that this one needs to be replaced almost. This is how the lug that I had to replace looked like. You can see there's a pretty good wear on them, and that part is the plastic part that shouldn't be there. So this definitely needed replacement, and I've gone 50 miles. I don't know how long they'll actually last, but if you keep on replacing the lugs, they should last you a good amount of time according to the website. Also, they also squeak. Do you hear that? I actually put a little bit of silicone spray lubricant on them. That's what the Enko people told me to do because they do squeak a lot. More often so when you're walking. When you're running, you don't hear it as much, but when you're walking, you can hear the squeak a lot. Actually, when I was running the race, a lot of people were telling me, you should put some WD-40 on them. And that was a little bit annoying. So when you're running these shoes, be sure to lubricate them before you run. Who are these shoes for? These shoes are for people who are really looking for an alternative to all those cushion shoes out there and think that this will help. I do believe that they add some extra cushioning benefits rather than normal cushioning shoes. You can definitely feel the cushioning effect. And yeah, I feel them. And for me, they are comfortable shoes. And I would run in these if they didn't cost so much. If you guys are interested in looking at these shoes, look up Enko shoes on Google and find them. And maybe you want to buy yourself a pair of these $420 shoes. So if you guys enjoyed this review of the shoe, please let me know. Let me know what you think about this shoe. Would you buy these shoes for yourself or a loved one? Let me know down below and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.